You guys probably already know what this is from the title, but I wanted to share this GMK Olivia unboxing experience with you guys since GMK sets are so expensive that unless you're flush with cash, come so far in between. I'm excited with this set because this is my first GMK set in a long time for a couple reasons that I'll talk about later in this video. But before we get to that, let's take a look inside. Now, I haven't bought into a group buy in a long time, so I'm curious to see how these keys are packed now, because back when I used to be active, they would just come in a bunch of plastic bags that you would hope would not get messed up during shipment. And wow, this looks really, really good. Check this out. Let's see if you can see this. Whoa, this looks awesome. So I bought the base kit and I bought the optional spacebar kit as well. So now with that out of the way, let's take a look. So this, we don't really need to take apart, right? Because you can already kind of see the space bars, but I'm very curious to see how things are packed inside. The package is a little squished, but I don't think that affects anything, so we're good on that. So let's take a look. So I want to make sure that you guys can see this. So there you go. So when you pull this out, you get a nice little GMK tray to protect the keycaps. And take a look inside. Wow, this looks awesome. So for this particular key set, I will be throwing on my NIZ. Wow, take a look at that. The texture is nice. The inserts are, or the legends are nice and clear. Texture is good. That's really cool looking. Now that we have everything unboxed, let's throw this on a keyboard and do a quick sound test for fun. The board I'll be using for this is the NIZ X87EC, a board that I'll have a full review of pretty soon. So the reason why this is my first GMK set in a while is, well, first the price. These are not cheap and I'm constantly struggling between deciding on if I should buy a set like this or building out a brand new keyboard. For example, this Olivia base kit and spacebar kit cost me about $140, but so did a complete YMDK split keyboard kit. The price isn't the only reason because you do get what you pay for, right? You get a custom keycap set in a very unique design and colorway. My hesitation comes from past experience with group buys. To give you guys context, the last GMK kit that I was really interested in and bought in on was a Hyperfuse kit from back in 2015, and that group buy was a shit show. It was so bad that to this day, more than 5 years later, people are still waiting on their sets and missing keys. If you have some time to kill and want to see the slow train wreck of GMK Hyperfuse, I'll leave a link in the comments below. I wouldn't go as far as to say that group buys back then were a gamble, but there were plenty of risks. Risks that your set would not ship completely, not shipping at all, or final products not looking anything like how they were presented in the interest check. So this is where I have to give some credit to NovelKeys, because the experience for this group buy was just so easy and painless, which is kind of bad news for my wallet. Anyways, if you're enjoying this type of unboxing experience and first look at GMK kits, or if you want to see other keycap sets at all, let me know what set you like, and if I like it, I'll check it out. The next set I have coming in is the Dracula set from Dixie Mech, which is unfortunately still in the color matching phase, so it'll be a while before those come in. Before we go, I want to do something a little different. You guys have been commenting a lot on my last few videos, and I want to let you guys know that I read them. So let's go through a few of them now, and if I butcher your username, I'm so sorry. So the first comment is from KingLao99, and his comment was, "Dude, please review Glorious versus Holy Panda." And yes, I have a set of Glorious Pandas coming in the next week or so, and once those come in, it'll be my first priority to push out a video. The next comment is from Ira QB, and it says, "This isn't exactly a great review, thanks, because the drop alt isn't exactly a good sounding keyboard to begin with. Might want to try at least a Tofu 60. Okay, so I mentioned this in a few other replies, but the reason why I went with the alt is because this keyboard has gotten to the point where a good portion of the community has either seen one, used one, or owned one, so I figured this would be the perfect keyboard to act as a baseline. With that said, I do agree, it's not the keyboard that shows off the attributes of a Switch very well because of the rattle, the ping, whatever it may be. So in the future, I will include a custom keyboard. And it's funny that you mentioned the Tofu because I have 3 of them, so I'll be using one of them in my future videos. I love Tofu. So the next comment comes from Hippiotech and asks, "What camera lens do you use for your macro shots?" So for all of my B-roll, I use the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K with a Metabone speed booster, and I combine them with these macro tubes. But don't get these because the metal on these tubes is pretty good, but inside it's made of plastic and actually broke apart, and the only thing holding all these tubes together is epoxy. For the lens, I'm using this kit lens that I cut the back off to fit, but any Canon EF mount lens should work with this setup. Well, that's it for today. I really hope you guys liked this GMK unboxing. Like, subscribe, it really helps me out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.